The Melbourne Cup Carnival rolls on at Flemington. Day 4 is upon us. Beaver, how are you handling the punting fest? Are you fatigued yet, or are you still going all right?
Oh, mate, do we ever get fatigued of this game? I don't know. We should, but we don't. A
couple of late nights, but they're okay.
Cup day was a tough day.
Yeah, so we haven't spoken since. Should we talk about the Cup itself? I just thought All Honours the ride, great ride.
All Honours the ride, and in fairness, the trainer had that horse fit and ready to go. I mean, its performance compared to last year was just outstanding. What do they say? 50 lengths quicker or something like that?
Through times, and I think Barney flagged it was going better. We sort of brushed over it a bit, but All On as a winner. Great for Joe McNeil. I thought for probably 2,800 metres, Karen McAvoy was probably counting his money. Yeah. Instead it cost him 50 grand. But, great ride. The rest of the day was up and down.
Yeah, it's been all over the shop.
Outrageous was good for us. Yeah, found a best value there. And
Ain't No Done Deal.
And Ain't No Deal Done was both our best. So we did barrel in there. But
Joviality was murdered.
Yeah, that would have made a big difference, I think, to the outlook on the rest of our day. The tracks played pretty well. It was maybe a little bit inside Tuesday, I thought, and probably down the outside. But yesterday it was definitely down the outside. Yep. The rail goes out, I believe, to the 7 metre mark now. And I'm tipping it probably will be the same tomorrow. We're looking for down the outside.
Yep.
A few showers today, but should be okay again tomorrow. And yesterday was productive as well, I suppose. So was lucky enough to find 6 on top, and just missed with Salto Angel and Montefilia. But Personal was great in the Oaks.
Very good.
2 Group 1s tomorrow though. We wrap up the carnival at Flemington. We will kick off with the first being over the 2,000 metre mark. We see another import here after the big fish yesterday failed to really impress. You got any thoughts on this first race?
I do, but I'm happy for you to lead us away today.
I'm probably taking on the import again here. I'm sort of taking the line that it's similar to the one we had yesterday, where it maybe is just being overbet. Definitely can win because it's not a strong race, but I thought SOMERSET more control of pace here, and he's flying. Been over to Adelaide and back where it was pretty dominant, and I thought that was my starting point. Kissinger's a lightly race stayer on the way up. But was very impressive on a wet track, only a soft track actually. Didn't beat much, but just looks like someone that's going to relish 2,000, I thought. So they were the 2 for me. It wouldn't surprise me to have a few bone rides, 5 winners, but happy to go away with the unknown in this race. What were you thinking?
I was thinking Vegas Night. I thought it was pretty impressive last start. It got out to a big lead, and they couldn't run it down, and just sort of big lead, held it up, and then kicked away again, and just found plenty. And I thought its form, but like before that, was pretty good. And if you look through last run, it won by 3.5 lengths last start over 2,000, and it beat Irish Flame.
Yes,
which won
yesterday.
So it's going well. And before that was on the heavy track, ran second, and before that at Sandown also ran second. So it's been around the money. Found the right race last start, and I can't see why it won't again. It's drawn wide, so it's going to come across. It's going to lead probably middle of the track, and I just thought presented a good chance. Kissinger, hard to get a line on, certainly on the way up, and I also thought Royal Order could run on well.
Yeah.
If they're finishing down the middle.
No, I think you've done well. They're just Colin Little's not a trainer I tend to find. With all due respect to him, seems like a lovely bloke, but I've probably given out undue respect because you've made some good points. Yeah. Very little pace, isn't there?
Very little pace. So Vegas Night's going to go, you would think it's going to try and produce exactly the same.
Yeah, no, perfect. Very good start there. Beaver, we head to the 1,400 metres of race 2, listed race for the 3-year-olds. Are you thinking the O'Shea wagon rolls on after yesterday?
I am going to stick with the O'Shea wagon. I think he knows the horses that he's brought to Melbourne, and they're there for a purpose. And I think this one could be in the same boat. I thought its first up run was very good, chased home a decent horse, killed the rest of them. I think this is going to be very hard to beat, and main danger, deep speed.
Yeah, I'm with you as well. The form around the Boppers held up through both runs. Its campaign. back on the dry probably suits it a bit better. And Bowman O'Shea worked twice for us yesterday, and I think, I like how he's kept them more fresh and just targeted this week out of the whole carnival, and I think it'll pay off for him again. Nice work. It was much easier than I thought it would be.
For now.
I know it hasn't been run yet. I know. The Chatham over the 1400 metres, Group 3. Maybe a bit of a trickier affair, but I thought it's not a horse I get away to find, but I thought this is Morrisy's race finally.
Yep.
Probably again gets control, and there is a concern if the inside's completely off. But Morrisy beaten a lip to Wild Planet, a lip to Windstorm before that, only beaten by I Am Superman. Gets largely control of this race as well, I think. Craig Williams gets on with the horse very well.
Do you think it'll lead?
Who else is going to lead this race? Possibly
Sansom?
Sansom's a quick horse, isn't it? Up from the
Mavada?
Yeah, I thought Mavada might box seat.
Which I thought.
Actually, you're right. Morrisy Gate 5 could sit on their backs, and that might actually be a better spot for them.
Yeah.
No, you're right. Mavada will lead it. I do have it here. Which actually is probably a bigger tick now, I think of it. Yeah, Mavada box seating. Over here, Morrisy box seating from Mavada, Samson outside lead.
Yeah.
I think it might be probably a better thing at Flemington.
Yeah, I think so.
Cover and just having last shot and probably not hitting the lead. It's just been sniped when it hits the lead early.
That's right.
Last three starts, and that'll play away from Caulfield may be concerned, but I think this is a drop in grade to what it's been running against.
Yeah, me too.
So I thought Morrisy for me. Anything to add?
No, Morrisy for me as well. Stick with you there.
Yeah, no problem. Into the fourth of the day, benchmark 90 over the mile. A bit of maybe a tougher affair. What do you like here? Nice horse resuming.
Yeah, nice horse resuming. I thought you were right. It is a tougher affair. Some horses coming over from South Australia. Look, I've gone for Winning Partner. I've really liked what it's been doing this preparation. Last two runs have been very good. Probably last start didn't deserve to win, but just it was dynamic. And I think in a race like this, there's no reason it can't run well. 1600, the favourite, I thought it was a little bit skinny at $3.30, given its first up over this distance.
Interesting kicker. They're either really keen or interesting kick-off point. That's the only thing I was worried about. First up a mile.
Yeah, I mean, it won last start at Flemington over this distance and carried 62 kilos, and then ran very close second to Passan prior to that. So, look, it's got good form for a race like this. Just first up, I was just a little bit unsure, and I really like the hard edge that Winning Partner's got on it at the moment.
Yeah, can't add much to that because I liked Aqueduct on the quick backup. I thought it got too far back and it did work home well. I think a mile now suits, but if I'm drawing a line through Aqueduct, you've got to like Winning Partner, who had pretty much owned it last start at Murray Bridge.
Yeah, the Murray Bridge Cup, it did own it. Aqueduct should have won that race if it was good enough, and Winning Partner went past it because it had the harder run. Yep,
gate 12 by this time in the carnival, probably a tick as well. So,
Winning Partner.
We both found Winning Partner, and with all due respect, I think, to the first upper, who might win by 2 lengths, and we're okay, good horse. He's been happy to play the race that way. The Group 3 Queen Elizabeth over the 2600. We see an import out of the Geelong Cup and an import out of the Bendigo Cup here. I'm going to flip the market, and I'm just going to give Le Don de Vie the slight nod here. I think it gets almost complete control here, especially under Ben Mellum. He's not afraid to really stamp a track and say, I'll take the lead here. Obvious respect to Pondus out of the other cup, but I do think Pondus might have more improvement, given I think it was ridden so quietly to try and keep something in the tank, hoping for a cup start. And I guess it's now all cards on the table tomorrow for Pondus, but I thought Le Don de Vie at twice the price might be the better bet for me in this race. Really not interested in anything else from the locals.
Yes, same with me, but I went Pondus. I flipped it around. I just thought Pondus was a really good run first up, and I think your assumptions there were pretty good, and I think it just might get the sit here and just be too strong in the last couple of hundred.
Flemington suits, Gate 9 suits, and Ollie suits. I think it'll sit a little bit closer than last, like I said, probably a grand final now.
Yep.
Or this, and then maybe a back up into the Sandown Cup next week. Not much else to add, is there?
No,
really.
not a lot at all.
For the rest of them. We get into the good stuff. The Group 1 Darley Classic up the straight for the 1,200 metres. Everest form here. Moonee Valley form here. Where are you putting Nature Strip?
Yeah, I can't look.
That was my reaction too when I thought about it.
I don't really know because it gets back to Flemington, and we know how good Nature Strip can be at Flemington. But the 3 runs this preparation have just suggested that it's just not there.
Yeah.
So you're going on spec again, and $4 on spec.
Didn't the market just not want it at Everest Day as well? It just said no.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if it happens again.
Nature Strip needs, I've said it a few times, needs a really soft first 2 to 400.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it's so good up the straight, because generally you don't have
get it here.
Well, generally you don't have the early pressure up the straight. They'll sort of waddle up and get into a clump. But Haydock here, maybe even something like there's not a lot of extra pace, but Haydock flew last time and is the only pressure. So whether it thinks it can sit on its back, but does Fabigino go forward?
It'll probably
the other
be
one
just behind the pace. I guess.
So. Potentially it gets a soft lead, and if it does up the straight, maybe it is the one to beat. I'm having settled that. I think Bivouac's a straight horse as well.
Yeah.
I said it before the Everest. It was the best run outside Classic Legend in the Everest when I wasn't that keen on it. I think it's a straight horse, just the way it carries itself, and the straight really suits. Bossy knows it. He's won on it up the straight. He'll be confident. Have you lost some battery, or you're right?
No, it's all good.
Keep going. So I'm leaning. It's not a horse I like. Not a horse I've really followed, but I think this is probably Bivouac's race. And thoughts outside of that? Anything with Blue Britannia, Tafani, any other Everest form? Were you saying?
Well, you look at this race, Daggy, and you could anything. This is a genuine race that any of these could win. You could find a really good reason for any of these horses to win, even some of the horses down towards 20. You know, Fabigino, first up, like last preparation was if it produced the last preps form, it'd be favourite in this race.
Yep.
First up wasn't suited at Moonee Valley. Last start ran second, wasn't a bad run. You know, I actually like Fabigino at $18, and I haven't ruled Tafane out up the straight as well at $17. You know, that's where I'd be playing.
It's not, and drawn inside's not the place to be either. But Graf returned like a jet. That was Graf's best run of its career. I've never thought much of the horse, but.
You know, Zatori's going great up the straight. The probably only, Santa Ana Lane,
it's done. Don't need to worry about it. Well, I didn't worry about it.
I think it's done. Nature Strip, I'm happy to let run. Haydock's not a horse I probably want to back.
Stand out, that's not for me either.
Yeah, that's right. So, Zatori, Tafane, Fabigino, 12s, 17, 18. I'm all pretty happy with having a play around with those guys. I think Bivouac looks to be the hardest to beat.
No, I like it.
But that's where I'm probably looking.
You've been hanging around for me, people.
Yeah.
I'll start to rub off after a week.
Yeah.
It's good. Excellent. So Beaver with the 2 down the bottom there, 8 and 10. You might even get 20s on a day, unless there's a real blow on one of those favourites.
Yep.
Which I can't see Bivouac getting too far out, and maybe Nature Strip might jump $6. If it jumps $2.10, then something's,
Yes.
I think you should be following by that stage. No rain around probably doesn't help Nature Strip either.
No.
Good work. The Meteorite over the 2,000 metres for the mares, Group 2. Hard to miss the runner CHAILLOT in the lead up to this as well. Do you want to go here? Or?
Yeah, CHAILLOT for me. Look, we've pretty much followed this horse 3 runs this prep. It was another good run. Flew home. I think Flemington's going to certainly suit this horse.
Did it peak on its run, or was just looking for further? That was the only thing I couldn't really get, because it looked like it was just going to chime in and go straight past him. That said, the 3 in front of it were all on pace and probably had a soft time. So
yeah, that's right.
They had their own kick.
They had their own kick then, and chasing some decent horses. Got
absolutely.
Odium and Shout the Bar, who are in it's in a decent race tomorrow, not without a chance. So I think, look, the 1600 certainly up to the 2000. I would have thought it could get the distance, and this isn't an overly strong race. Out of the 2000 suits Toffee Tongue. Varna Girl, You Can't Get Me. She's Ideals, obviously.
How can Varna Girl be? What is it?
Still in the market?
$6? How,
don't know.
I know it's now Sydney form, but it's been getting towed in Sydney.
Yeah, it hasn't
doesn't
shown
count.
it's the same form. She's Ideal they've brought to Melbourne, so it's pretty race hard fit, which will help, but maybe too race hard fit.
And again,
enough to beat these. I think the favourite at 420 is good value.
Yeah. The one I'm going to pump up for again is In Good Health as well. Goes forward here. It was really flying. It run of the race back when it was in the Caulfield Cup qualifier, which I just forget the name of the race now. Just didn't run the 2400. I like that they've skipped the Cup and skipped. Had to give it a freshen up couple of weeks and kept it fresh for this. This is probably a grand final here. Gets probably sits Graceful Glimmer's back and gets first shot. I won't say last shot. And CHAILLOT will get last shot. So I think they're the clear two, and then the obvious Toffee Tongue out of the Group 1 form. But probably a bridge too far deep into a prep off a Caulfield Cup run, I'd say. That's why I'm just looking for a little bit of freshness. But I think you covered CHAILLOT very well. Don't need to add much more there. The MacKinnon is the Group 1 over the 2,000 metres. 50 stars on the back up, and then a couple out of Cox Plate. I'm going to say that the two out of the Cox Plates were the other two for me here. I haven't made a decision which to stamp yet. I like probably Mugatoo drawn wider now. I like Bowman on at the price is probably top pick. But if we're saying that Cox Plate Day was leaders track, they were two outstanding off the rails making ground. Mugatoo might even overperform there. Flemington looks to suit both, and I think they're the tier 2 clear starting points. How are you playing it?
I've gone the two other horses myself.
Melody?
I've gone Melody Bell and 50 stars.
Mm-hmm.
Thought Melody Bell's form from New Zealand is pretty good. Won really well last start. It's got a pretty dynamic finish. Look, I think it'll probably get the run of the race here. It's got the Melbourne Cup winning jockey on board. Really like Melody Bell, and I think 50 stars gets out to 2,000 now, which it's been looking for. This looks like the race it's been set to win this prep.
I thought last run was a perfect springboard for this.
It was a perfect springboard for this, and I certainly think it gets its chance tomorrow. 10-1 is pretty good odds. So yeah, I'd be playing Melody Bell and 50 stars if it was me.
Yeah, I would be much keener on Melody Bell if it does get to a soft. But scared of it. But when they're the 3 in the market, I can't.
Can't pick them all.
No, you can't pick them all. That's right. All go in the quaddie. End of the day. Race 9, the 1100 metre benchmark 80 up the straight here. I think we can finish the day with a winner for me. Meteorite, since it's been Geld's flying, running times, and draws the right part of the track here out in 10. Even though it's a big field, it should be able to get into one of the quicker lanes there and be very hard to beat. From the obvious implicat for me, but I think we can finish day for Meteorite. Any opinion in the last?
Yeah, I liked Meteorite as well. Certainly thought you were right with drawn 10 looks to be really well drawn, and plaquette is smart as well. The Gouch I was a little bit keen on, but when it was drawn gate 1, I just don't know by this time of the day whether that's going to suit. It ran second to Ocular last start, and Ocular's been going really well, so that probably really kind of turned me off. The Gouch, and why it left me with Meteorite and plaquette really scared of.
Can't add more there. I thought Blood Oath around the 50s was maybe a place chance, but I think we covered off in pretty good detail the stakes day or finals day at Flemington. You want to do your quaddie or your best and value first?
I will do my quaddie first.
Yep. And
in the quaddie, let me just get this. My numbers were 3, 6, 8, 9, 10. In the next, I had 2, 6, 7 and 13.
Yep.
In the third leg, I had 2, 8, 9.
Taking Mugger 2 on.
Yeah, taking Mugger 2 on, mate.
Okay, cool.
Sorry about that for you.
No, that's fine.
And in the last leg, I had 5, 11, 15.
Great. So 5 before 20, 60, 180 combos.
Yep.
Good work. We head up to Sydney. Oh,
We
do your best in value, sorry.
Oh, no.
Punters are hanging for that.
Made it hard. My value's coming up in the first race. I'm coming with Vegas Night, $8.50.
Yeah, you've talked me into that, actually.
And my best bets comes up with Pondus. Was in race 5, wasn't it?
Yes.
Race 5, number 2, Pondus.
I make my best Meteorite, and they really struggled to really want to stamp a shorty, and in good health can run well in the matriarch. I thought about $15 there. Let's head up to Rosehill. The rail's in the true. It is heavy 9. Has been hard to make ground a bit lately when wet, so I want to see otherwise before we really, I think, and there's a little bit of wind around, so I wasn't really sure how to stamp the track. I'm just treating it as a last man standing heavy, but beautiful day in Western Sydney today. Might get, the Penno was only about 6, so it may, if we don't get rain overnight, it may get back to a heavy 8, slow 7, so it might not be bottomless, but
good.
Still wet, which I guess makes for a bit better racing. Not as exciting racing. We're back to a few benchmark races from what it's been the last week. Where do you want to start off? The first?
Yeah, I'll go first race. I think the favourite, Parry Sound, here is flying at the moment. Gets another race where it should be pretty hard to beat, just sitting off the pace, and Tommy Berry can produce it at the right time. Probably really hard to beat, with the main danger being number 1, Approach Discreet.
Yeah, I'll flip you here. I'm going to put Approach Discreet on top on the quick backup. I like the Arcana form. I like it. It probably got a little bit out of its ground, but really chased really well through the line. And just taking the opinion that a nose to not a bad errata isn't as good a form as chasing Arcana.
Yeah.
But in the end of the day, you're talking about a lightly raced on the way up horse with Tommy Berry. So, yeah, they're the 2 easy ones in that one to have. You're not interested in the highway, are you?
No, I'll steer clear of the highways, mate.
We've got 2 tomorrow, so that's heaps fun. Race 3 over the 1,500 metres, benchmark 78. A race I didn't like at all. If I have to have a bet, I would back Nash on Petronius, just because it probably gets a softish lead. And, control of this race. Not much to add, really. Fortress Command did beat Petronius 2 back, but I didn't spend a great deal of time trying to unravel this one.
Yeah, not for me, mate.
And then we get to the Country Classic, another essentially highway race. Again, not a race I spent a great deal of time on. I thought Amy Shadow's been really impressive in the highways it's run in, and Total Recall's actually coming here with a run at Metro level behind Otra at Warwick Farm. The other 2 have been dominant wins last couple of starts and leads here. But wouldn't talk out of anything here. Proven Class was pretty impressive last start. But that was from the 10 minutes I spent on that race.
Yeah, no, Total Recall for me. Thought it was, won well last start. And the start before that was in town and ran credible second there. Look, if it can produce that type of form, I think probably too good for these.
Yeah. Excellent. The 800 metre benchmark 78. The other distance race at Metro level for the day. We see Stockman on the quick backup in the wet take on the up-and-comer in Le Gay Soleil. Have you split them here?
Yeah, I went Le Gay Soleil. I tipped it my best bet of the day last start when it won. 16 gate, I wasn't overly happy with.
Might be fine by now.
But it might be fine. It will go back. And I thought the run, it just kept, it was a little bit wide last start. It just kept coming and hit the line really well.
$1.80 out to... You could end up getting $3. You got $4 if you shot well enough.
$4.
Yeah.
And one easy.
Yep.
Never looked in doubt when he got clear runnings. So I'm going to assume that it's improved from that. Hopefully a couple of scratchings, might see it come in a couple of barriers, and hopefully get the cosy enough run to be in the finish.
Tommy's, when he's on these sort of horses, he drags them straight back anyway.
Yes.
So he'll just snag straight back and be given a start. That's the obvious for me as well from Stockman on the quick backup. distance suits and the wet track obviously swims. And yeah, Quintessa will be its usual honest self if you need something up front you want to back. But yeah, 9 into the clear picks there. The Golden Gift over the 1100 metres for the 2-year-olds, $1 million race again in Sydney. I thought Captivant was pretty dominant on debut. Wet's a question mark here. Tiger and Malay's out, and I couldn't really out of the unrace. There's nothing that really grabbed my attention. So I thought for Handles Wet, Captivant probably wins again.
What about Ghostwriter?
It was the one I put a pen through because it come from Queensland.
Yeah, but it's trials.
It does get Nash, and trials have been okay, yeah.
Yeah, but its trials were in Sydney.
Yeah.
They took it to Doomben, had the kill, and now they bring it back.
Yeah.
Interesting. Annabelle Neesham
and on pace. No, she's trains okay though. Seems to train winners.
Trains out of where, do we know?
Warwick Farm.
Okay. Hence why the couple of trials have been there.
Yeah, so trialled twice at home and trip away's a tick actually properly.
Yeah, so
Sydney. Okay.
I thought I was happy to play at that, about $7.50.
Yeah. Definitely.
In a race that, hard to line the form up.
No, absolutely. I'll make sure I add it to the quaddie.
You better.
This was a tricky race. The Group 2 Hot Danish over the 1400 metres. A couple back from Melbourne. Nothing of wet track form was the first issue I sort of had. So the one that does have wet track form for me was Positive Beef. I thought it sat outside lead and had all the honours in the lead up. And probably hard to beat again from the best closer in that race, which was Wonderbar, who's flying, just doesn't win. And I didn't know.
I settled on the favourite.
Yeah.
Intrepidatious, purely won its last start. Not many of these horses have won in a while. And they don't look to have a lot of ability. So I think just on the basis that it won first up, it was a nice little win at Hawkesbury, up on the speed. Not Hawkesbury, won a barrier trial at Hawkesbury, won at Warwick Farm, won pretty easy by almost 3 lengths.
It was a very impressive resumption, I thought.
It was very impressive, and prior to that also won a barrier trial, beating Military Zone at Randwick. So it looks to be come back in good order, and for that reason I think it'll probably be hard to beat.
I'm with it as well. In a tough race, I think it probably drifts a little bit. They may want to take it on the heavy. She might get around the $4 mark. If that's the case, I'd say it's a pretty reasonable bet. Savinia has to get away from Canterbury a little bit, and not sure on the heavy, and I'm not really sure it's a horse, to be honest, but I don't know what is here. So yeah, for me, Intrepidatious. I won't confuse anyone else by going on further. Intrepidatious there. Before we mention our best and value, we need to mention progroupracing.com.au.
Yes.
For further free tips and extensive guides, that's all up there, and check that site out. Doing a good job, and plenty of exciting stuff coming over summer as we head into the summer racing period. So check that out there.
Yeah, get on there. They have lots of news articles on what's happening in racing and all the latest and greatest.
Yep.
So worth checking it out.
Check out progroupracing.com.au, and let's wrap up with your best and value here at Rosehill.
My value comes up in race 6, number 1, Ghostwriter. Thought it at the $8 mark was sneaky enough. And my best of the day comes up in race 4, the Country Classic. Race 4, number 9, Total Recall.
Stamping the bush race.
Yeah, nice. Stamping the bush race, mate. One of my favourites, Paul Massara.
Good work. I'll throw out my quaddie first here. 2, 6, 8 and 9. Gone a bit wider in some of these tougher 2-year-old races. 1, 2, 4, 8, 10 and 12. Into 1, 5, 8, 11, 12. Home with 3, 4 and 10. For me, about 12% for your $50. My best is going to be, I'm going to make Approach Discreet. My best of the day. Quick backup. I think he's looking for the wet track again. And my value, Positive Piece on a day I wasn't uber keen on. They're the 2 for me at Rosehill. Have you looked up north?
Of course I have.
What have you got for us?
Not going to let the punters down there. Got a couple at Doomben for us. A reasonably shorty one, even money in the second. Isotope should be winning and should be really hard to beat there. And that'll give you some money to get on my other winner in the last, which is number 6, Command and Conquer.
Great.
Race 9, number 6. So they're the two that I've got in Doomben. What do you got in Adelaide? Anything?
In Adelaide, there wasn't a great deal I was super keen on. Todd Panel's ride in the 5th, I believe it was. Where are we? 6th.
Yeah.
Dazzling Damsel. Yeah, I think it come back pretty well. I like the form through Trip, and hard to beat here.
Trip form's good form.
Yep. So that was pretty much anyone there. The couple of shorties earlier in the day, similar to last week, I think they can both win as well, but nothing I really wanted to throw out at around even money. Great. Let's wrap up for progretracing.com.au. And well done this week, Beaver. Good luck tomorrow, and we will catch up to discuss. I think we're back to normal real life next week.
Yes.
To discuss our Wednesday preview Tuesday night. So good luck, punters, and we'll see you then.
Ciao for now.
Cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, I forgot about the program rating thing until like.
Yeah, I need to stick something on my computer.
Yeah, that's right. When I do the notes, I should just write it in between every sort of 4
Yeah,
X's.
you've